My brother never wanted to get married. My parents had me just to carry on the family name, but my mom died in childbirth and my dad just vanished. So I bounced between my aunt's place and my uncle's. By the time I was 7, the whole family had enough and dragged my brother to court to make him take me. The day the ruling came down, I dragged my little suitcase over and grabbed his sleeve with shaking hands. It was the first time I'd ever seen him, and his eyes were nothing but cold, pure hatred. My grip left a tiny wrinkle on his perfectly pressed suit sleeve. My hand was trembling. One look from him and I almost let go. "What's with the attitude? The court already ruled. You think you can still run from this?" My uncle shoved the court order in his face. "You're the oldest. It's been 7 years. That kid is your responsibility." I had nowhere else to go, scared out of my mind, but I still wouldn't let go. My brother's face went dark and then he just shoved me away. He glared at my aunt and uncle. "Didn't your family throw me out? I don't have parents. I don't have a little brother." My uncle had nothing to say, so he just snapped, "Take it up with the court. The kid's yours now. Don't even think about dumping him back on us." I stood there with my head down, wind whipping around me, but my face felt like it was on fire. My palms were soaked. I knew it. Nobody wanted me. My brother shot me one cold look, let out a scoff like I wasn't even worth his time. He walked off and left me standing there, got in his car and slammed the door. The car was about to pull away, and my aunt's face went cold. Before she and my uncle rushed over, she shoved me hard. "What are you just standing there for? You trying to leech off us forever?" I hit the ground, vision going black, but I didn't have time to feel it. I scrambled back up. By the time I looked up, my aunt had already thrown herself onto the hood of his car, slapping it with both hands. She was screaming at the top of her lungs. "This is insane! He's out here making bank and driving a luxury car but won't take care of his own little brother?" A crowd started forming. My aunt cried louder and my uncle started venting to everyone around him. The noise got so out of hand it spilled into the courthouse. A judge came out to try to calm things down. My aunt and uncle ignored him completely, so the judge walked up to my brother's window and knocked. The window finally rolled down, and there was my brother, jaw locked tight, knuckles white on the steering wheel. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Wait, isn't that the forensic guy? He helped crack that huge case last month. A forensic expert that well known? And he's really gonna ignore his own little brother?" Surrounded by gossip and chaos, the fury on my brother's face slowly gave way to something pale and cornered. He looked over at me, stone-faced, and just said, "Why, get in." I panicked and rushed to the back of the car, but I couldn't figure out how to pop the trunk no matter what. The whole crowd just watched. Nobody helped. I gave up and shoved my suitcase into the back seat with me. I wasn't even fully in my seat before he floored it. I had zero warning, slammed into the back of the front seat, suitcase and all, stars everywhere, eyes watering. In the rearview mirror, his face was pure bitterness. My head was spinning, and through the fog I heard him say, "You're just like them." I didn't really get it. I just gripped the suitcase and tried to stay upright. Then he added ice cold, "Always playing dumb, always playing the victim." I didn't fully understand, but I knew it wasn't a compliment. I wrung my hands nervously, and out of the corner of my eye I spotted a photo hanging from the rearview mirror, swaying in the wind from the cracked windows. It was a girl I'd never seen before. Maybe 17 or 18, fair skin, gorgeous smile. I looked away fast, but my stomach was doing flips, and right when I couldn't hold it anymore, the car screeched to a stop. We pulled into some residential complex. I shoved the door open and bolted to the nearest trash can. When I finally turned around, he still hadn't gotten out. Just sat there, profile visible through the half-open window, pale and sharp. He had a handkerchief out, carefully wiping that photo, like it was something precious. Then, just like that, his face went blank again. He got out. I grabbed my suitcase and quietly followed him into the elevator. At the door, I slipped off my shoes so I wouldn't dirty the floor. He led me to a room in the farthest corner of the first floor. He didn't even look back, just flatly said, "Stay in there. Don't come out unless you have to. I don't want to see you." I nodded quickly and was about to go in when a little girl's voice came from behind. "Who is he, big brother?" My hand jerked on the suitcase handle. I turned around and saw a face, thin, almost ghostly pale. She looked about my age, clutching a porcelain doll, staring at me like I was some intruder in her territory. Guarded, unwelcoming. Something about her scared me. I instinctively backed up 2 steps. But my brother's expression completely shifted. He pulled off his jacket, draped it over her shoulders, then knelt down to slip on her shoes. She grabbed his sleeve and whispered, "I'm scared of him. Can he not stay here?" He gently patted her head. "He's just a relative of mine. He'll be staying for a bit." Then he said softly, "It's okay. I'll make sure he stays out of your way." I had no idea why she called him Big Brother, or who she even was. But my heart was pounding, and I forced myself to speak up. "Hey, Big Brother, I've got nowhere else to go." The second I said it, she started crying. He whipped around, furious. "I am not your brother. Have I not made that clear? Get in there and don't come out." I didn't say another word, scrambled inside and shut the door behind me. Her crying carried through the door. I'd never once been comforted like that before. The way he spoke to her, and so soft, so gentle, it just got to me. Most of the room was crammed with junk. The little bed in the corner looked like it had been thrown in last minute. I lay there staring at the dark window, trying to remember which place this even was. I'd lost count. He hated the Sue family, and by extension, he hated me. But honestly, no one in that family ever really liked me or treated me like one of their own. My mom died right after having me. My dad couldn't handle that I was a boy. Spent a year taking it out on me, then left with some pregnant woman and never came back. After that, I was basically a ball, kicked back and forth between relatives who all resented me. I tried my hardest to be useful, helping my uncle stock shelves, changing diapers, and doing laundry for my aunt's grandkid. On the way to and from school, I'd collect bottles to sell, anything to spend less. I bent over backwards trying to keep everyone happy, surviving in that house for 7 years on as little food and money as I could manage. But when people don't want you, they just don't. And eventually, they'd rather take it to court than keep you another day. I tossed and turned under the blanket, still freezing, still feeling hollow, like I'd forgotten something but didn't know what. But the truth was, everything I owned had always just been a few worn-out pieces of clothing, and some books. My aunt said my brother would buy me new ones when I transferred schools, so she sold my books before we even got to court, and used the money to buy her grandson candy. I shook off the memory, got up, and pulled those 2 old shirts out of my suitcase, hugged them to my chest, and lay back down. That helped a little. My head felt heavy and swollen, hot 1 second, freezing the next. I was probably running a fever again. I always seemed to get sick. A doctor once told me my mom was older when she had me, so my body was never all that strong to begin with. I curled up and tried to hold myself tight, still couldn't stop shaking. Then someone knocked on the door. The little girl's voice came through, "Come out! Big brother wants you!" I was so out of it, felt like the floor was made of foam when I got up. I floated after her up the stairs in a daze. She pushed open a door, I followed her in, but my brother wasn't there. Looked like a study. A picture frame was on the floor by the bookshelf, glass shattered. I recognized the face in it immediately. It was the same girl from the photo hanging in his car, except this one was in black and white. Before I could get a closer look, the girl suddenly screamed. My brother stormed in, face like thunder, and slowly my head started to clear. I heard the girl sobbing her story to him. I heard something and ran in, and the photo of Big Sister was broken. Suddenly I remembered. The way he'd wiped that photo so carefully,